Hello, it's Greg Grizzled and Gaijin. We're back. We hope you're having a happy day wherever you're listening to this audio content from. As always, we'd like to thank you for your continued support of Greg Grizzled and Gaijin social media and writing efforts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is episode 020 of the Greg Grizzled and Gaijin, definitely not a podcast show. A light and fluffy look at social media, Japan, Japanese food, expat life, and life in general. As always, your retweets of this and all the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful content that we actively tweet and retweet out on Craig Hoffman11 on Twitter is appreciated. Thank you in advance for your help in getting the good word out about Greg Grizzled and Gaijin. Good show. Today we are talking about the 2-year blog anniversary as well as the upcoming 500th post on our Greg Grizzled and Gaijin blog. I'd like to personally thank everyone who has played a role in the success and growth that I have seen on Craig Hoffman11 on Twitter as well as the Greg Grizzled and Gaijin blog. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I would mention people individually by names, but 2 problems. 1, that would take too much time, and 2, to be sure, I would leave someone out and I would feel just terrible if I did that. But you know who you are, and I hope in the last 2 years you know how much I truly appreciate your efforts to help Greg Grizzled and Gaijin grow. As many of you know, if you've followed me for any length of time, when I became 40, I looked at my life and I felt a little disappointed, and I wanted to see if it was possible for me to, quote, be more, end quote, in my life. I remember talking to my friend 2 years ago, and I said, I wonder how popular I can get on Twitter. And he replied, I don't know, you should definitely try. That seems like really small motivation, but the fact that I can pinpoint that as the moment that I was going to go all in on social media, Twitter, and writing was a very key moment for me. I had an old blog years ago. I talked mostly about my old English teaching days in a junior high school and my reactions to life in Japan. So I was able to put out some content pretty quickly, and that was nice. Nobody really read it. That was bad. And that happens early when you are writing a blog. People don't know who you are. And really, you don't know who you are, or rather who you want to be on the blog. I remember one Sunday night sitting at my computer, and I was reading about what I should do to increase my visibility on my blog as well as on Twitter. And I needed a brand. And so I sat on MS Paint and I created Greg Grizzled and Gaijin, the logo that permeates all of my social media. It's nothing fancy. In fact, it's black and white, and any social media expert will tell you that it's probably the worst kind of logo that you would ever see in your life. But I sat down and I tried to think of what I wanted to be for people on social media. And I looked inside myself. I knew gray, I was older, and grizzled, which people, thank you, have told me means the same thing as gray. Thank you, I have a dictionary and I can read. But grizzled for me was the fact that not only was I older, but that time and experience had chiseled away the youth and exuberance that I once possessed as a young man. And to me, that was very different than simply just getting old. Many people get old unscarred by life. I had gotten grayer and older, as well as quite scarred by my experiences in life, both good and bad. And the Gaijin part, of course, was foreign. That's the elephant in the room that every expat who lives abroad, whether that's Japan or any other country, has to deal with. And in fact, foreigner wherever you are and wherever you feel slightly out of place, whether that's in your family, among your friends, in your school, or in your place of employment, Gaijin, literally outsider, is what many people feel. And sometimes, to be truthful, I felt outside myself. So Greg Grizzled and Gaijin was born. And I reached out to people because I didn't know what they wanted to read, what they wanted to engage. Quickly, I remember posting food pictures. I have taken food pictures for years, rather. It's my hobby. I have hundreds of thousands of pictures. And people really liked them. And of course, I expected that a little because people love Japanese food, and most people don't have great access to Japanese food. But of course, it's not my dream to simply post and tweet out Japanese food pictures all day. That really doesn't change my life. I've done that for years on my private Facebook. And I remember on my blog writing about English teaching early. I said, well, I have a lot. I've been an English teacher a long time. I have a lot of information and insight that can help the new people, maybe even the old people, become better English teachers. And of course, there's a ton of information about that, and lots of people who write on that here in Japan and around the world as ESL kind of blogs permeate the social media landscape. That seemed kind of a dead end. So I moved and pivoted to Expat Issues. I thought certainly I must know something after living more than 12 years in Japan. And I felt, hey, I can help people be more positive and see that real things happen to them and life kicks everyone. And that too was pretty popular. And one day I remember what really pushed my blog forward. I was thinking about something to write, and I had done so many topics. You kind of hit a wall at about 100 and maybe 20 posts. Well, what do I write about? And on a lark, I wrote about social media. And the post was pretty simple. It was basic information, things that had helped me as I was looking to create Grey, Grizzled, and Gaijin. And it got picked up by some bigger social media person in Europe. And it was like my most popular blog that I had ever written to that point, which surprised me. And so I kind of began to focus a bit more on social media, hints, tips, and tricks for writing and blogging and engaging people, not as an expert, but as a person who literally does all of that daily to try to reach my own social media and writing dreams. And people really, really, really responded to that. And of course, I continued to create content, and I continued to push hard on Twitter by repackaging and retweeting my blog content. But it just seemed again that I hit kind of a wall, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to continue. And I pulled out my iPhone one day and I said, well, maybe I can make a video. And then I did these little 45-second Grey, Grizzled, and Gaijin videos, and they got like 50 times the engagement of my blog posts. And while I was really happy that people were engaging my stuff, I was really, really almost depressed that one 45-second video got more response than my hard-earned blog posts were getting. But I kept going for that, and I did gain followers, and I moved into a longer format later in YouTube, longer videos about writing and blogging and social media. And again, those videos, we live in that kind of world in 2018 where people really, really respond to the visual content, especially video. And I picked up more followers, not really particularly on YouTube, and that's not something that I push and promote very much. If people follow me on the YouTube, thank you. If they don't, that's fine too. But I think in that format, I can be more of myself, and I think people respond to that, and they follow me on Twitter, and they follow the blog. Lots of people do both now. But I still felt like I hit a wall, and I remember one day going around looking at content, and I always mock, sorry for those people who do podcasts. I have nothing against podcasts, but every time I talk like this without a video, I remember riding in my car, listening to the radio with my mother, the talk radio, and thinking, wow, I really wish I was home so I could watch TV. But there is value, again, in 2018 in the audio format. These shows have been highly engageable by, again, a different segment of Grey, Grizzled, and Gaijin's followers who really perhaps don't have time to read my blog. That's unfortunate. And people who don't like looking at me on video, and that includes my wife, I think, from time to time, and most of the students and people. I'm not a handsome person. That train has long since left the building. But I am a rather funny person. And, you know, as my wife said, you're great as long as I don't have to look at you for very long. And she does love me, I think. She's kind of kidding. But you realize that you just keep reaching out and reaching out and reaching out to people on social media and a blog, video, vlogs, and Twitter videos and Twitter chats. I did all of that. And you hope against hope that slowly and hopefully sooner rather than later, people realize that you bring value into their lives. And at the end of the day, in 2 years and 500 blog posts and countless videos, countless tweets, and countless interactions with people on a personal level, 7 days a week, I have reached a level where I can say that I am a presence in Japan as a blogger and content creator. And more importantly, I am a positive influence in the lives of many, many people. It doesn't mean I'm changing their lives. It doesn't mean I'm changing Japan, but it does mean that I have found my place in Japan that I can call my own. And so when I look back at 2 years, 500 posts, 3 books, 31,000 tweets, just as many likes, countless emails, comments, and interactions with literally tens of thousands of people on social media, I can say it's been worth it, even if my grand dreams of success, fame, and fortune are yet to be realized. In the end, I'm happy that I reached out to try to be, quote, more in my life, and I hope that you daily are taking and seeking out opportunities to do the same. Again, thank you for 2 years and 500 posts. Your support is truly appreciated. That's it, and have a great, great day.